Hello, hello again. Now let's do some hands drawing. Let's insist on the basics, as hands take various shapes. Well, this one that I'm going to draw like now is basically something like this. Something like that. But it's a lot more elegant than what I'm actually doing here. Okay, let's see how we can do that. Let's see how to show the twist and turn of the hand. But before we do that, you need to make sure you got the precise, as precise as it can be, the width and length of the hand. So this is the palm. This is where the fingers start, and I'm going straight to the index finger, and that is connected to this. Then you have thumb, which starts from there, which is basically this one. Starts from there, and that goes kind of, actually a bit more to the left, and then goes right here, goes to the thumb. There you have the thumb here. That's the thumb. That's the shape pretty much, or very approximately, of the thumb. Now you have middle finger, which goes on a vertical line, something like this. So middle finger, index finger, ring finger. There is a angle to the ring finger of that sort, and the little finger, okay, there. Now that's pretty much the basic form, the basic shape. Now I can adjust it, because I can adjust it to the specifics of what the hand is doing. That distance is good, it's large, it's good, but the middle finger, it's not wide enough. So adjust the middle finger. That's a shadowy area here. Ring finger. That's also the knuckle of the ring finger, this one, which we don't see, but it's actually behind the middle finger. So it's pretty much there. Of shadow. And the pinky, small finger. Now this, I was going to go to the small finger, but then this is the creases of the hand on the inside. And I can expand a little bit the palm and make it a little bit wider, and maybe more of an angle, not only wide, but more of an angle. And a shadow above the hand. So it shows that the wrist is moving back. So as that is like pretty much like this, you got the wrist moving back. How do you show that? Well, basically by doing what I'm doing here, is to darken the wrist area. And try not to go too harsh and too hard. on the darks, so leave a little bit of middle tone value, not too dark, but not too light either. And I want to do, I mean, that could be a female hand, but the female hand, you got a smaller index finger. So if that's a female hand, then I will have to come and make that thinner. But if I want to make a male hand, then the fingers could be a little bit wider and longer. Oops. Bring it back. There. Okay. So I can start give it a little bit of a middle tone of light tone of value here, and a darker tone of value, much darker than that one here, which is the palm on the inside. There. It's basically it's that area here that I'm working now. And that dark line can be mended and blended into a general darker tonal value here. And this, which is this, could be with a bit more creases. I can get away with more creases if it's a hand of a certain age, or if it's a younger hand, then you have less creases. And here, soften those lines. Don't need to go very, very dark. Cut the index finger, which was quite long before. Do that here, on the creases here, on the knuckle, on the middle finger. Give it a darker tonal value like this. And a darker tonal value of that sort here. And a darker tonal value here. Here I have the hand. Okay, now I can play around with a little bit of these. Cut that here. These are the creases on here, on the knuckle of the index finger. Okay, and then thumb can be a bit bigger as well. I mean wider. There. Maybe a bit longer, but definitely wider. If we want to do a male hand, as I said. And not only angular lines, but also kind of almost horizontal lines. There. And those lines are just merge and they get softer, much softer. softer edges, softer lines. Okay, I think it serves its purpose. We can see that it's turning on a very specific turn of the hand. It's actually doing kind of, don't know if you can say acrobatic, but you cannot say acrobatic with a hand. It's basically doing very strange movements, something like this. Okay, now why is that important? Well, it's very important because we can use those twists and turns on a live model when we have live models. Whenever we have live models, when you go to a live modeling class, so I'm actually we'll go with a series with these. Hands, we've done feet, but feet in different positions, hand in different twists and turns. If the model is doing some beautiful moves, you want to capture that. But to capture that, you will need a bit of practice. Like what I'm doing here. You can practice at home by working from photographs of real people, not drawings, models, and then you can apply those little lessons to the model. Highlight, creases here on the thumb, there, lighter, which is the wrist here, and I can play around with these now and create a bit more of a skin tone here, and I can cut the index finger there, maybe those lines a little bit less dark and less visible, and blend them with the background, something like this. And I'm not saying do not do the lines. Lines are extremely important. Like I've said to Kevin, lines, go with the lines. But if the lines is interrupted, you can do a dark line of that sort, and you can come back here now and do that dark line of that sort here, where the shadow is. Like this. So that gives me a huge volume by highlighting the thumb. But I don't want interrupted lines constantly. I want them to be repeated, but to be associated with dark lines as well. So those are interrupted lines, or dots, 1, 2, 3, 4. But then they merge with a general dark line. Here, I can play around now with those darks, and even though they're interrupted, but they are part of a bigger line, which is this one, that one, that one. Maybe that's a bit too dark, but I can make it seem less dark if I add a darker tone here. And I drag it down. So I can get rid of that previous structural line that I've done at the beginning. And another structure line on the ring finger. Another one structure line on the small finger. and the small finger a little bit smaller, thinner, and here we are. Now we don't see the nail here, so leave it as it is. We don't see the nail, but we know the nail is there, so you can do something like this. Now it's not in the picture, but thumbnail, but I'm just doing it. I'm adding it myself. It's not there in the picture, but if you want, you can do many things, even adding thumbnails. Here, they're not in the picture. Again, I'm repeating. You won't see them on the original photograph. And softening those dark, very, very dark lines all around the hand. And here we are. All good. All good to go. There. And this is one of these. Is that one of those lines? There. Those highlights here. Okay. Okay. There. And a little bit lighter. And some highlights, if you like. I can do another thumbnail here, although again it's not seen in the picture, in the photograph. And these are the creases. Okie dokie, well, see you on the next one. Hasta entonces. What's the date today? Oh, what's the date today? 19th. 5th. All right. See you in the next one.